So I'm going to go through a different technique for factoring. This is factoring using the big X and grouping. Just the idea that we know what A is, what B is, and what C is. And the reason we call it the big X is just a way of organizing our thoughts on this. So we're going to come up with a number up here that's A times C, which is A times C. Put B down here. And then we're coming up with two numbers that multiply up. So those two numbers multiply to get A times C and add down and add to get to B. So let's try it with one of the examples. So big X, A, which is 1 times C, which is -4. A times C is -4. The bottom is B, -3. So I need two numbers that multiply up to -4 and add to get to -3. So I only really have two options when I look at this, 1 and 4, 2 times 2. Well, 1 and 4 is going to work, and then I need this to be negative. So I end up with x squared minus, and I'm getting it from here, 4x plus x, and I got that from here, minus 4. Goal on this is to actually just factor. Can't factor out of those two, can't factor out of those two, so if I switch them, out of those two I can factor out an x, out of those two I can factor out a -4, and I end up here. Then I notice x plus 1 I can factor out x plus 1, and I'm left with x minus 4. And that's the factored version of this. An example where A isn't 1 is this example here. 6 times -15 is -90. B is -1. Remember, I gotta multiply up, add down. So numbers that work, 10 times 9 gives me 90. But it needs to be -10 times 9, so I can add down to get that -1. Now, I'm thinking of it as 6x squared minus 10x plus 9x minus 15. So I've split this up into two parts. And if I take -10x plus 9x, I get -1x. What can I factor out of that? A 2 and an x, which leaves me 3x minus 5. What can I factor out of these two? Just 3. So I'm left with x, 3x minus 5. Once again, these are the same, so I can factor that out. 3x minus 5 times 2x plus 3. Factored version of it. Then I have a little shortcut for in the next one.